Okay, everybody, you guys voted, and pretty good turnout for the Dantavius video. So this is a video from Dantavius, obviously my son, and it is called "The Cosplayer That Went From Fighting Crime to Prison Time." You love a good rhyme, am I right, fellas? I love a good rhyme. Let's get it going.
Hellscape that
Sorry guys, let's actually get it going now.
Seattle, a godforsaken hellscape that shouldn't exist. It's riddled with drugs, crime, violence, and worst of all, hipsters. A city where the only thing more common than Starbucks is HIV. In Seattle, it's considered...
Why'd you... Oh, I don't know why we showed... What's that, Magic Johnson? I thought you just showed a random black guy for a second. I'm like, wow, why would you do that?
a good day if you only get stabbed once on your way home from work.
That sounds pretty good.
The place is a shithole. But once upon a time, there was a man that had a vision for a better Seattle. A man who was a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. I'm talking about Phoenix Jones.
Wow, I like the name.
On Seattle. An ordinary citizen becomes a dark knight known as Phoenix Jones.
Phoenix Jones calls himself a crime fighter. He's
wow.
An ordinary citizen
So I need to
becomes
look
a
at
dark
it
knight
again.
known as Phoenix Jones.
Phoenix Jones.
Wow. Listen, okay. I can kind of understand vigilante justice, right? I think we all can understand it. You know, somebody cuts you in line, you want to clobber them, right? I get that. My thing though is, why would you dress like that? You know what I mean? Like, why like that? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, you could just not dress up, or you could just put a badge on, but the guy looks like a Marvel character or a DC character. I mean, I prefer DC generally speaking, but you know, the cinematic universe in Marvel is better. Let's be real.
Jones calls himself a crime fighter. He's the man who dresses up and patrols the streets at night.
My name is Phoenix Jones, and I'm the leader of the Seattle superhero movement. We walk around a lot of the really rough areas of Seattle and just keep our eyes out for crime and just are the first responders on the scene.
They patrol the not-so-mean streets of Seattle, allegedly breaking up crime when they see it.
Stay back. Phoenix Jones, yeah, that's what he's called himself.
Phoenix Jones.
Look how he dressed. Fucking cosplay dork.
Before he became Phoenix Jones was just a regular schmuck named Ben. And he was just
you know, I like Joe Rogan before this, but now that he's messing with my friend, my Phoenix Jones, I think I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands, guys.
Me and you. He went to work, took care of his kids, paid his taxes. Just a dude living a normal life in Seattle. Well,
yeah.
As normal as anyone can live in Seattle anyways. But one day that would all change when Ben took his son to the mall for some back-to-school shopping. When he finally got back to his car, the front window was broken and there was glass everywhere. Turns out some scumbag...
Hey guys, he shouldn't have parked there, am I right? If you don't want crime to happen to you, just don't exist. That's a fresh and fit take. Just don't exist, bro, you know?
Put a rock in a ski mask, smashed the window, and took everything inside.
Damn, that's terrible.
His son fell on the broken glass and cut himself up so bad that he needed stitches.
That sucks.
That wasn't bad.
Well, how bad was it, though? Because, like, you know, you how many stitches? It's just so bad, like, you know, maybe he just, like, tripped a little bit and it's only got, like, 3 or 4 stitches. Still not good, I'm just saying. You know, how many stitches, okay?
Bad enough. He got 12 parking tickets while he was gone. And Ben was pissed off.
What?
I mean, wouldn't you be? But what made it even worse...
How do you get 12 parking tickets?
Witnesses saw the robbery and did nothing
you must be
about
joking.
It. They just watched and let it happen. If you've ever been to the big city, you know that...
Listen, man, I don't know. Counter-Strike 2 was announced? Really? Okay, that's actually kind of exciting. Anyway, everything aside, if I watch somebody break into a car, I don't know if I would stop them. I would record it. But, like, you really think I'm going to put my... Like, I don't know. If you're willing to break into a car, you're willing to hit me? If I had a gun, I'd be like, hey, stop it. But outside of that, like... Hey, my car, you know? If someone was breaking into my own car, I might say, hey, stop that. But I'm not going to go and fight him personally. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to record it and call the police and whatnot. But, you know, it depends. Depends on how lazy I'm feeling, I guess. I don't know. But whatever.
Most people who live there are completely desensitized to crime. They've seen so much of it, it's like part of their daily routine, like exercising or paying $5 for a cup of diarrhea water from Starbucks. Most people aren't going to get involved when they see something going down. These days, we're more likely to record a crime than to try and stop it.
That's a good idea to record the crime, though, because it gives you information for later. The problem is that some people will record crime for fucking TikTok. They don't record it because they want to have evidence. They're like, oh, I'm going to put this on TikTok and I'll get millions of views because they're weird children. They're annoying.
And I guess it kind of makes sense. There's a certain logic to not messing around with dangerous-looking characters. But still, you can understand why Ben was upset. His kid had to get stitches, the car needed repairs, and these mother suckers just sat there and watched it all happen. He wanted to do something about it.
Wow, beautiful
Police
stuff.
told me that there was nothing they could really do, and there was no way to investigate it, and the insurance wouldn't cover it because I didn't have a police report, and it was all this stuff, and it just piled.
What? No, wait, none of this. Sorry, I have brain rot. I'm sorry, what?
Really do, and there was no way to investigate it, and the insurance wouldn't cover it because I didn't have a police report, and it was.
That doesn't make sense. You don't need the why wouldn't the police give you a report? The police don't need to be able to take action to give you a police report. Okay? Like when somebody leaked my news on the internet, I got a police report. I just needed it so that you could like start proceedings, right? You know, I never went through with it because I have such a nice penis that I didn't mind. All jokes aside, like you don't need that. How do you not have a fucking police report? That's just a you problem. What, or is this your fault? Why didn't you get the police report? I'm confused.
It was all this stuff, and it just piled up. And finally, I said, if they're not going to do something, I'm going to. And I went back to that parking lot, and I sat there and I waited for the guy. And I eventually caught him. And I chased him into the woods, and I basically gave him a very firm talking to about why you don't break into other people's cars.
A few weeks later, Ben was downtown having a drink when he sees one of his buddies getting beat up outside of a bar. This time, he wasn't just going to sit around and let it happen. He still had the ski mask from the carjacking in his car, so he put it on and chased his friend's attacker until the police arrived.
Nice.
This is where Phoenix Jones, Seattle's very own superhero, was born.
This guy's kind of based.
There was too much crime in the city, and too many citizens were ignoring it. When his friend was getting the absolute dog shit beat out of him, there were 50 people just watching it happen, doing nothing.
Yeah, if somebody's getting beat up, that's a little bit different. Like if somebody's property is getting stolen, I'll record it and not intervene. But somebody's getting beat up, man. Like you got to help that person out. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference. That's crazy. Unless they had like guns or something. I don't know.
And decided he wasn't going to be one of those schlemiels sitting on the sideline.
Schlemiels.
He was going to clean up this city. The only problem is he couldn't just run around with a ski mask or people might mistake him for a criminal. So like every good superhero, he decided he needed a dope-ass outfit. But he wasn't going to settle on some cheap-ass Party City costume. No, our boy Phoenix Jones wanted his very own batsuit. And after paying a visit to his local custom superhero outfit store, he found the perfect one. Complete with a bulletproof vest, stab plating, and shock-absorbing foam. The costume came with a price tag of $10,000.
Jesus.
Hey, it was worth it.
How much money does this guy have?
The only thing that was missing was a cape, which, let's be honest, would be incredibly impractical in an actual fight. You could stumble on it, like an enemy could pull on it. It would be a nightmare. But
yeah, it doesn't make any sense, especially if you're flying. You know, you're gonna get caught up in like a plane engine or something. It doesn't really make sense to have that. I don't think. What
it did come with was toys, and I'm not talking about the kind me and your mom use in the bedroom.
Whoa!
Crime-fighting toys, stun baton.
Listen, the fact that you need toys to satisfy my mother is kind of like it's kind of just your inadequacy, brother. Okay.
Pepper spray, tear gas, handcuffs, you know, all the basic stuff an up-and-coming crime fighter needs in his utility belt. At one point, he even had a $10,000 riot shield that could take a shotgun blast at point-blank range.
Jesus, what the fuck?
Jones had all the equipment he needed. He was finally ready to
start
the streets of Seattle, looking for crimes to stop.
How do you have $10,000?
He did everything from keeping drunk people from driving, stopping carjackings, breaking up fights, and stopping criminals from fleeing crime scenes until the police showed up. He even stopped a guy from stealing a bus. And he didn't just dish out ass-kickings all day long. He was.
See, remember we were watching that vigilante video before? This is the good vigilante. This is the guy that's actually trying to help, and he's not just doing it for himself. You know what I mean? This is the guy who really cares. Okay.
Curious about helping people, so he would feed the homeless. He would help elderly people cross the street, get cats out of trees. The man was basically a grown-ass Boy Scout, and his good deeds didn't go unnoticed.
Hey.
Phoenix Jones was gaining a reputation.
I'm a grown man. Just because I'm a Boy Scout.
In Seattle, he was kind of a cult hero, and the local news started following him around everywhere. I mean, who could blame him? There's a fucking superhero running around.
Damn, they're recording him too. See, they just want to record, guys. All they want to do is record. They want to help.
That's not something you see every day. So our boy PJ decided to use the attention to his advantage. If more people knew about what he was doing, it might inspire others to get out there and fight crime themselves. Plus, the criminals would think twice about getting involved in some tomfoolery. There was a mass vigilante running around.
I don't know, man. If there was a guy who was like, oh, I'm going to be a mass vigilante, I would think about, I'm not saying I would do it, but like I would be like, oh, maybe like if we got our own Batman, do I want to be the jokester? You know, like maybe I would try to be the jokester from the movie Jokester. I'm just saying, like that might motivate me to be a little bit more kooky, a little bit more crazy, a little more unhinged. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
So he started uploading his exploits to his YouTube channel, The Phoenix Jones, in full 120p glory. I mean, goddamn, bro, this shit looks like it was filmed on a pool noodle. Despite looking grainier than a bowl of rice, the channel instantly took off. People ate this shit up. And a lot of people were inspired to go out and be Phoenix Jones. They wanted to put on their own costumes and fight crime. So Jones decided to start up his
It sounds really cool, but I feel like this is just such a bad idea. You know, like this could just cause trouble for the police. I feel bad for the police, you know? Oh my lord. Some just vigilante crime fighters running around. It's cool, but
own super group, like a real life Avengers or Justice League, but shittier. They called themselves the Rain City Superhero Movement. Members included Shockwave, Buster,
RCSM. Okay.
The Mantis, Karma, Skyman, and El Caballero, and Phoenix Jones's wife, Purple Rain. Soon, Phoenix went from being a local hero to a main.
Is he trans? Is that her trans name? I'm just saying, trans people come up with the weirdest fucking names.
Mainstream icon. He was even doing interviews with Fox News.
Why? Why do you wear the costume? Why do you do this as a superhero?
I think you have to draw attention to the fact that crime's not okay, and that there's people running around who are just
This guy just wants to fucking be a superhero, dude.
And the only way to really the only way I could think of to draw attention to the fact and not look like I was going to do something bad, with like a ski mask and all bulletproof gear, I took an image that meant something to me. I took the image of a superhero and made it my own.
And Dr. Drew.
Okay.
I went out and fight crime the day before our first date, and I was planning on taking the night off, but I did it anyway, and I ended up getting stabbed. And we have a date the next day, and I can't go to the hospital, and I can't, reveal my secret identity. So I thought to myself, what do? I'll just glue it. 15 minutes in, I'm like, listen, I'm bleeding profusely from my abdomen. I got stabbed the other day, dressed up like a superhero.
He was not exaggerating in that clip. This guy was not messing around. He was actually putting his life on the line every single night. While prowling the streets, Phoenix was stabbed, shot at, beaten up, had broken bones, and often came home bruised and battered.
I've broken 3 ribs. I've had my nose broken. I've been shot twice. Been stabbed
What the
2
fuck?
times. I've been arrested.
Is this guy like a superhero? What the hell? Listen, personally, that would turn me off to crime fighting if I got stabbed and shot. I don't know if I'd be fucking with that anymore,
Been on countless occasions. I've been in probably maybe 40 or so street fights.
And your body can only handle so much punishment. Just ask your mom. The injuries were starting to pile up, but Phoenix powered on. Putting on a costume and fighting criminals all day long sounds pretty fun, but in all honesty, it's a miracle that this dude's still alive. But pretty soon, injuries would be the least of his problems, because he was starting to get on Seattle PD's bad side. Police typically aren't too fond of other people doing their jobs for them. And the fact that Phoenix Jones...
sometimes they don't even seem to be too fond of them doing their own jobs. Just saying it.
And a ton of great publicity, something the police rarely get, probably built up a lot of resentment. Because at the end of the day, even though Phoenix and his friends were doing a lot of good, in the eyes of the law, they were nothing but glorified vigilantes who were just making it
Well,
hard.
yeah, it does make it harder for police sometimes. Like, even if they're helping in a way that, like, we need, you know what I mean? Like, we have a whole justice system for a reason, and, like, they try to dispense justice the correct way, even when they fail sometimes, but normalizing and like allowing this type of vigilante justice may not necessarily be the best thing in the entire world. It can get a little bit crazy quickly.
Harder for the actual police to do their jobs.
It's not something that we sanction as a department. It's not something that we authorize in any way, shape, or form. Seattle's a very unique city. What I'd say to Phoenix Jones is, hey, you're doing a pretty good thing. Okay, brother? But there's a line. Don't cross it.
But despite the fact that Seattle PD was breathing down their necks, the Rain City superheroes were mostly able to avoid legal consequences. These people were not dumb. They knew what they had to do to stay out of hot water. Number one, they never threw the first punch. If Phoenix Jones saw somebody getting beat up, he would step in between them and try to break up the fight, but he would never touch the attacker unless they hit him first. After that, it was open season. He could pepper spray them, use a stun gun, or just a swift kick to the dick. Anything goes at that point. Okay. Number two is he always had a GoPro on him at all times. So if there was ever any doubt about his methods, he had receipts. Number three is the simple fact that violent criminals typically aren't going to go whining to the police. I mean, what are they going to say? Yes, officer, it was that man over there in the Franklin the Turtle costume that beat me up when I was in the middle of breaking into that car. Oh, by the way, I'm on drugs. It just doesn't make sense. And number four is a little something called mutual combat. What is mutual combat? You might...
I don't know, it sounds pretty fucking badass, though, I'll be honest with you.
Be asking, and can I use it on my boss? Well, it's a law that essentially makes street fighting legal as long as both parties agree and there's a police officer present to basically referee and make sure nobody gets killed.
Wait, how does that work? You have to ask the police, hey, can you just watch me beat the fuck out of this criminal? No, it'd be really awesome. Let's do it.
Washington and Texas are the only states where mutual combat is allowed. But even though he did everything in his power to keep his crime fighting kosher, he couldn't stay out of trouble forever.
Oh no. Did he get arrested? No, my boy Phoenix.
On Sunday, October 9th, 2011, Jones was arrested on 4 counts of assault after pepper spraying a group of people. Phoenix tried to break up what he thought was a fight between two parties. Both parties then turned on him and he used pepper spray. When the police arrived on the scene, Jones was the one that was charged with assault.
Damn. What were they doing then?
Said that Phoenix and his...
Wait, how did he misinterpret the fight? What were they doing? Maybe they were doing magical armed combat or whatever it was called. Fight Club. The hell?
Gang of do-gooders had been warned as they were using pepper spray more and more frequently. Specifically, Phoenix had been told to call 911 and not inject himself into these types of situations. So the police were a little bit ticked off and they arrested him and took away his suit and mask. It just so happened that Phoenix didn't have his GoPro on him that night. But luckily, a film crew was in the middle of making a documentary.
Why didn't he have
the
it?
whole thing on camera. The filmmakers said that the police didn't even want to take their statements. They just arrested him right away.
When the police arrived, they didn't even ask for my own statement. They kind of just...
Oh, damn. They set him up. The Matrix got him. They set him up. Oh, dude, that's no way. No way. Wait, I was like, oh, they set him up. They didn't ask the right questions. Do you think that they like legitimately set him up? Like they had a bunch of like fucking police officer family members, a bunch of guys from the pub start pretending to fight and just like, no, we were just playing rugby or something. What the hell?
Producer of the documentary also said that.
Wait, so what if they like monitored this guy and they like knew the times where he did and didn't have his GoPro? I know I'm going a little too deep here, but what if, man? What if?
Phoenix repeatedly asked for someone to call 911 and did not use pepper spray until things got out of hand and both parties turned on him.
McNamee says the crowd Jones thought he was helping turned on him.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
And it's
Jesus.
Jones's use of pepper spray that police say led to his arrest for assault.
Wow.
Either way, he had to appear in court, and I shit you not, he showed up in full costume. After reviewing the
what a legend, dude.
And our boy Phoenix Jones was feeling himself. First thing he did was walk out of that courtroom and go talk to a bunch of reporters. And what he did next will shock you.
What? Oh, he's...
I'm Phoenix Jones.
Turns out
Oh,
that Phoenix
shit.
Jones was none other than Benjamin Fodor, a professional MMA fighter.
Oh. Wow, nobody could tell? Crazy. I'm about to say, like, okay, that's why he wasn't afraid of getting shot. Because people who do UFC have a mental disorder. Forgot. I respect UFC fighters. It's a joke. Okay, don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. That's crazy, though. What the fuck?
Suddenly, the amount of ass he was kicking was making a lot of sense. This man was a trained martial artist fighting regular-ass Joe Schmoes. After the whole unmasking,
Yep.
Phoenix was at the peak of his career. He could have just retired from crime fighting, and he would have gone down in history as an absolute legend. But it's like they say, you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain.
No, what did he do?
As you can imagine, Phoenix's relationship with the police kind of soured after the whole pepper spray incident. It wasn't the best relationship to begin
Well,
with.
it sounds like that pepper spray incident was soured. Was already like he was already soured. The police was sound like they were trying to go after him, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But now it's even worse. Phoenix, he just wanted to help the boys in blue and gain their respect. But they saw him as a nuisance who was doing more harm than good. And it wasn't even just the police. It was like the officials of the city of Seattle. One city authority said, Mr. Fodor is no hero, just a deeply misguided individual. He has been warned that his actions put himself in danger, and the latest episode demonstrates that innocent bystanders can also be harmed. And the more famous Phoenix Jones got, the bigger his ego grew, and the more he started butting heads with cops and officials.
Police worry Phoenix's recent taste of fame pushes
Not
him to
Phoenix.
put himself in harm's way.
Not my man.
Insert yourself into those situations. If you see something, call 911.
On June 30th, 2013, he would post a video titled Phoenix Jones Lava Lounge Assault Edited Version with this description. I believe this video shows the Seattle Police Department letting a criminal go for no reason at all. Tonight was an extremely disappointing display of incompetence by the Seattle Police Department. I am going to file a formal complaint as well as release my video to the police and media for accountability purposes. It is the job of the police to arrest and investigate suspected criminals. Your feelings about my protective outfit and your politics should not impair your legal obligation to the people. The video shows Jones following a man who allegedly assaulted a bartender that refused to serve him a drink. After a while, the police show up and just let the guy go, barely even question him.
What are they gonna do? The guy, what are they expected to do? I don't understand. Oh no. That doesn't even make sense. What the fuck?
Despite all his problems with the police, Ben Fodor still had the people on his side. He was doing a bunch of TV appearances, he had a documentary made about him, and he even had his own comic book. But public perception would slowly start to turn against him too. People were starting to question if he was really doing this to help the public, or if it was just for his own ego. The first major backlash he would face was when he posted a video depicting the murder of Nicole Westbrook. One night, Nicole was walking out of a bar when she got caught in the crossfire of a drive-by shooting. Jones heard the shots from a couple blocks away, and he rushed to the scene as fast as he could. Sadly, she didn't make it. The scene was later featured in the Phoenix Jones comic book, which many people saw as him profiting off her death. But that
regardless of whether he was, that's just rough. Jesus, why would you do that, brother? That's not good. That is that's rough, man. I don't know why you would do that.
was just the tip of the iceberg. In another video, Phoenix was fighting some guy in the middle of the street. I know it might be hard to tell from the footage because it was filmed on a fucking Nokia 5160, but surprisingly, the MMA fighter wins the fight against all odds.
Yo, Washington's a mutual combat state. If you'd like to agree to fight, because you guys would like to. Mutual combat.
Oh no. I was wrong, guys. It sounds like he might just be going around trying to pick fights with people to get. Oh no. That I believed in this guy.
About 4 leg kicks and 1 right hand. Set him straight down on the sidewalk, and I called an ambulance to make sure he was okay.
Suspect is down. Mutual combat is over.
This video was a really bad look for Jones. Here was a martial artist decked out in full body armor, fighting a dude that's 3 white claws away from calling his ex. And the sad truth was, a lot of these so-called criminals Jones was going up against were just like this guy. And this was kind of like the turning point for his reputation. Even his fellow superheroes were turning on him. Rain City superhero member.
Fellow superheroes? What the fuck? They really got a whole goddamn network at this point, huh?
Shockwave made a lengthy Facebook post detailing how much of a putz Ben Fodor was behind the scenes. Phoenix Jones patrols are always in front of bars and alleys behind bars. Phoenix Jones preys on people who are drunk and unable to function normally
makes sense,
because they are impaired by alcohol. These are normal citizens out to have fun, get drunk, and maybe make a few poor decisions, but are generally good people. From time to time, Phoenix Jones picks a fight with maybe an actual criminal, but mostly it's just impaired people. Case in point, the Phoenix Jones mutual combat video. Clearly the guy and his friends are impaired by alcohol when Phoenix decides to take them on in a fight. Clearly not a fair fight. Would MMA allow one fighter to be drunk while the other is sober? South Seattle has true crime, like on Rainier Avenue and Martin Luther King Jr. Way, but you won't find Phoenix Jones down there fighting real drug dealers and members. That was just one of the
I mean, that makes sense, man. If he's just like specifically patrolling like areas he knows that there's going to be some rowdy idiots, and then who's to say that he's not like trying to start a fight with somebody? You know, if you got some drunk and listen, you know, frankly, you shouldn't drink in general. But you got some drunk people, you know what I mean? They're gonna be acting like a fool a little bit here and there, you know what I mean? And if you say if you're trying to antagonize a fight, I can't imagine it's super difficult to do. So, Jesus.
Any accusations made against him by other heroes in the RCSM. And this post came just one day after Jones officially disbanded the Rain City superhero movement. I love being a superhero, and I believe there's a certain level of professionalism that goes with that. I just can't in good conscience continue to put my seal of approval on people I feel are not loyal or properly trained. And if that wasn't bad enough, his wife left him too. Purple Rain, aka Ben Fodor's wife, announced on November 13th, 2013 that the two were no longer together. Bro was really going through it. He lost his friends,
he really lost everything. He lost everything, bro. He lost his own wife. She's like, I realized that you weren't the real superhero, and I thought you were. That's so sad, bro. How devastating.
His wife and his reputation all in the span of a year. After the disbanding of the RCSM, Phoenix went off on his own. He was still patrolling the streets of Seattle because that's the only life he knew. But now he had to be a lot more careful to avoid scrutiny. So for the most part, he stayed out of the headlines. That is until January of 2020 when Ben Fodor was arrested after him and his girlfriend allegedly tried to sell drugs to an undercover cop, which is absolutely wild. That's like finding out.
I mean, listen, it would be even more based if he sold it to a overcover cop. You know what I mean? That would just be ballsy as fuck.
Now Batman was secretly a serial killer the whole time. It's like they say, you either die a hero or live long enough to become a... Oh wait, I already said that earlier. It was around that same time that Phoenix officially announced that he was hanging up his cape, so to speak. At the age of 29, Benjamin Fodor finally retired his alter ego, Phoenix Jones.
Damn, I'm 33. I haven't had... What an illustrious career, bro. You know, those couple years, though, because what he did was like wrong overall, but those few years, man, they probably felt like heaven to him. Like, could you imagine feeling that good? I woke up every day with such an incredible purpose in his life. I mean, you know, I could kind of admire it if honestly, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just saying.
Or so we thought, because in 2020 he was seen walking around the Capitol Hill occupied zone, which, if you guys don't remember, it was this block in downtown Seattle that was taken over by Black Lives Matter protesters. Since then, there have been no officially documented sightings of him. But according to legend, even today, on a cold, dark Seattle night, you might catch a glimpse of him out there in the streets, pepper spraying tough guys and punching hooligans in the head. I personally hope he keeps it up for as long as possible, because he may not be the hero we need, but he sure as shit is the one we deserve.
Guys, I have something
True.
to admit. This isn't easy, but I gotta come out and say it. I'm kind of a schlemiel, okay? I'm constantly losing things. Just this morning, I lost my wallet, and then I lost my keys, and then I lost my dignity, self-respect, and sanity.
Yeah, I lost my hair. It's pretty sad.
And it's not even 3 p.m. yet. Luckily, I partnered with Exter, who makes these really cool wallets that are like half the size of a regular wallet. I mean, look at this monstrosity that I've been lugging around in my back pocket for the last few months, and now look at this. Did you know
That's pretty cool.
that having a large wallet in your back pocket can cause a condition known as wallet neuritis? No,
it's like a real thing. I know you're being serious. You can actually like it'll fuck with like the way that you sit down. Like if you sit on it, it's not just being in the back pocket. It's if you sit down on it. That's why I personally just don't put it there, because that just seems a little silly goosery to me. But you know, it's a hot take, huh?
I did not make that up. This is a real condition. Even though these wallets are small, they can carry up to 12 cards and cash if you're into that. And check this out. Pretty cool, huh? It also has a solar-powered tracker that'll help you find your wallet when you inevitably lose it. This thing is the size of a credit card, so it won't take up too much space, and you don't have to charge it. The sun charges it for you. Just 2 hours in the sun is equal to 3 months of charge. Oh, and of course, it's got that built-in RFID to block...
What, I gotta leave it outside? I'll plant it in the ground? What do I gotta do with that? What the hell? Just kidding.
People who are trying to steal your data or wirelessly skim your shit.
So if you want a cool-ass wallet like your Uncle Danny, use code DANTAVIUS for up to 25% off your next order on Extra.com.
Okay.
Again, that's code DANTAVIUS
I think, okay.
for 25% off.
Go buy it. Okay, go buy it. All right, that's a good video.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.